What's up, everyone? Here on the Fire Sports Pod. As you guys can see on my left, we have a fire. Oh, yeah. But we got a great show for you guys today. This is on YouTube. Don't forget to look at Spotify and Apple Podcasts for Fire Sports Pod. We also have a TikTok set up for Fire Sports Pod. Go check that out. Tune into that. It's fire because what we do on this show is everything is fire. You guys know the drill. So let's get right into this. So for our first run of the table right here, we're gonna be talking about the Yankees and their constructed team and how I think they will do in the playoffs. So I think constructed wise, the Yankees as a team is pretty good. I just don't think I think we now have a lot more players and role players that can hit a base hit, can hit a double, hit a triple. We're not always going for that big home run hitter like we used to do over the last couple of years, where we just had home run hitters and barely had anybody hitting extra base hits. I remember against Houston and Tampa, we never had any base runners or people in scoring position, or we could never get people home with runners in scoring position because we were just so home run dependent, and it was ridiculous. So just the way it is that we just gotta be sound. We gotta play Yankee baseball, and if Volpe, LeMahieu, Torres, Judge, Stan, like last couple games, we've been doing well when it came to base hits instead of always the long ball. I mean, today we are up 5-3 right now against the Dodgers. Bowers did hit two-run homers this game, so he single-handedly has 4 of our 5 runs. Right now we're in I think it was the bottom of the 7th or top 8th right now, and we're up 5-3. So hopefully we can stay close and stay good and keep going good in this game and maybe close it out. But Cole's pitching a pretty good game. He's only given up 3 runs, I believe, unless they took him out already. But if not, then he only gave up 2. But it's looking really good. And the Yankees are doing some fire things, especially when we are on the Fire Sports Pod, because everything we do here is fire. Don't forget to tune in again to my TikTok, my YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify at Fire Sports Pod, because everything we do is fire. Now, more about the Yankees and how I think that they're going to do in the playoffs. Now, I think the way we're playing baseball right now, we need to be a little bit more consistent when it comes to hitting and pitching. If we could stay consistent, like I've said in my couple other videos, we can stay consistent with being sound pitching and sound hitting and get runners in scoring positions and capitalize off that, I think we would be much better going into the playoffs than right now. I think we're getting into the swing of things. We're getting people back from injury. We just got Stanton and Donaldson back last night, and they showed out last night with giving us our 4 runs. We did lose 8-4, sadly, but that was a positive out of the loss. We did give up 8 runs, but a positive was the 2 people we got back from injury came back and an immediate impact scored all 4 of our runs, both of those players. So that was a good thing. But Bowers, man, he's come to play. He's a really good player. I really like him. Volpe is amazing. Everyone was calling for him until he started to hit, and now everyone loves him. They're comparing him right now to Jeter's stats when he was a rookie. He has a good chance to become a Derek Jeter-type player. He's a great fielder, and he's a phenomenal bat. He can get you a hit, can get you a walk, can get you a bunt when you need it, a single, a double, a triple, a home run. He comes up clutch in big situations. You need a sac fly, guy comes home. He's that man. LeMahieu's starting to get back on the swing of things, coming back for his injury. Donaldson, like I said, Stanton's coming back. Judge is still grinding and rolling. He's got, I think, 18 or 19 home runs on the year, and we are like 35 and 26 or 34 and 25. So we're like we're like less than 60 games into the season, and he's already almost got 20 home runs. So he has a chance to get up to that 40-50 range if he keeps doing consistently, Judge. But I don't think he really cares about any home runs or anything. He wants to win games. He wants to get his team to the World Series and eventually win a World Series. This year, starting out, I wasn't so crazy. My friends were saying, like, yo, you just got to let it happen. But it's just like every year we're like, oh, the Yankees are so good. They have the roster to do it. And then they just fall apart when it comes to the playoffs. So hopefully this squad and this season, it changes that narrative about Yankee baseball where we're so good in the regular season, we just crumble starting a playoff time. So hopefully that changes the whole narrative on them and it gets them going in the right direction. And hopefully if we stay consistent throughout the season, that carries on to the playoffs and that just doesn't end when the regular season ends and then it just doesn't continue during the playoffs. Because that was our problem last year, the year before that, and the years that have been coming because we just can't hit, we can't pitch some games, and we just leave people out to dry, and it's just ridiculous. So if we could play the way we've been playing so far, I think we have a good chance to be in the playoffs and go and get a deep run and eventually hopefully make to the World Series and win a World Series. That is the ultimate goal. As a Yankee fan, I want to see them win a World Series. They haven't won since like 2009, 2010. It's been a long time since we've seen World Series with the Yankees. So it's going to be fun to watch. We're still like we're only 60 games in. Got a whole lot of games still left. So we'll see how we do. But then again, stay tuned with the Yankees. If you are a Yankees fan or just baseball fans, stay tuned with them because I bet you they're going to be in a deep run this year in the playoffs. I'm counting on it if we just stay the way we're doing right now. If we're playing the way we are and we stay consistent, we'll be good. Now, our second point we're going to go for today on the Fire Sports Pod, on this Fire show we got for you today, is what happens when... Let's talk about like what happens when LeBron retires. Who's going to fill that stardom role, that star power role? Now, you guys in the comment section and TikTok, whatever you guys want, you guys just tell me what you guys think. Who's going to take that role and who's going to bring upon that role for when LeBron retires very soon. I think he's got like maybe... I'll push him with 3. I think between 3 and 4 more years left, depending on his mind and his body. If he can keep his mind good and his body good, he'll be fine. I think he's going to definitely play this year, and then next year's with Bronny, and he might end up with another year. But he might be done after 2, or he might play 3 more years. But let's hope he can get some championships. I'm hoping for LeBron next year. We come back. We're together, and we have a much better all-around team. We sign Reeves, sign Ryu Hachimura, and we just piece it together and go right back to the Western Conference Finals and win the Western, get to the finals, get LeBron that 5th chip, and maybe run it back with his son the next year. That would be nice to end it off with the 2 straight finals championships and finals MVPs. I would think if he wins 2 more, or at least 1 more, depending on what happens, if he wins 2 more and wins it with his son, I think that cements him as the best basketball player to ever walk the planet over Jordan, because he'll have 6 titles with those 2 wins. He won it with his son, be the first time his son played in the NBA, same team, whatever. That would be fantastic. Now, again, there might be a thing that where he might stay with LA and Bronny goes and does his own thing with another team. That is a possibility. I think the whole thing was that he wanted to play with his son. So I still think that's his goal. That's why, even though he scared everybody and me with being like, I'm going to retire, but I kind of knew, like, he wasn't going to retire because that was basically kind of stupid. Because why would he build up all this thing? I want to play with my son. I want to play this. I want to do that. And then he's just going to retire after he loses in the Western Conference Finals. So, like, that's what I mean. But let's get back on track. Who I think is going to... You guys let me know what you guys think, who's going to take that stardom. But I got 2 players probably that's going to take it that's young. I got Ja Morant at 1 and 2 Anthony Edwards. I think Ja Morant's going to be better. Problem is, man, the guy can't stay out of trouble. He keeps pulling out these guns and everything on IG Live and being a doofus. Like, I don't understand how you can be an NBA player and be a role model to kids and whatever throughout the whole world and be doing that on Instagram Live when all your fans and your family and your friends are looking at you and like, what are you doing? Are you an idiot? Like, come on, man. Like, guy's got to get out of his head. I'm hoping he's getting some help because he's a great talent. He's great for the game. And I think he's the one that's going to basically, when LeBron retires or Steph retires, those are the two juggernauts in the league right now that are like stars that have that impact. Giannis is great. Devin Booker's great. But they've been in the league for a while. Ja's been in there for like 2 years. And Anthony Edwards has been there for like 2 years. So they're going to be really the people that we're going to depend on coming up and getting the NBA back to where it's supposed to be. But then again, if Ja can't be there, he might not even play another NBA game again. Like, that is the question. Does he deserve it? Should we even trust him anymore? This is the second time, and it happened the second time in less than 2 months. So can we even trust him that he's going to do the right thing and be the right person? My thing is where's his father? Like, come on, man. You know, Ja, that's your boy, and you're very close with him. Why are you trying to tell him, like, yo, that's not right, you can't do that? You stop trying to be like a gangster and actually play basketball, because that's not who you are. You're not that. You're a wannabe trying to be a gangster. That's not cool. It's not funny. It's not cool. And then he got threatened by an actual gang member. I think from Memphis. I'm not sure if it's from Memphis or another state, but one of the gangs, Crips, they one of the guy, the head of them, threatened him. Not threatened him. He's like, I have no beef with you, but like, if you want to see what about that life, just DM me or hit me up and come on this podcast. I'll show you what about that life is. You won't like it. And then he also said, I bet you he won't even answer to this. But that would be stupid to answer, because knowing Ja, he'll be like, yeah, I'll come on, and like a doofus. But to be honest, I hope he's getting help, and I hope that changes, because I really like him. I really like his game. I'm going to be getting his shoes soon, so be rocking the Ja 1s. They were supposed to come out with the Ja 2s, but they put that on pause for right now, dealing with the legal stuff and stuff like that. See what happens with Ja. Then they might put it back on, but we'll see. But he's losing a lot of endorsements and whatever. But that's pretty much it. When it comes to Anthony Edwards, I just think that who's going to... No one really knows, and he has to get past the play-in tournament for me. Like, he's a great talent regular season, but when it comes to the playoffs, you don't really hear him. He's always in the play-in tournament. The last 2 years they've been in the play-in tournament, and they haven't really done anything. Play-in tournament, then they first, like, the number 1 seed, and then they get bounced. So it's like, if he gets past, starts doing some stuff, but he's a high flyer, knows what he's doing, he's a great athlete, and the kids love him, but no one's watching the Timberwolves. Memphis has been in the playoffs. They know what to do. So a lot of people watching Ja. Ja came from Murray State, up and coming. He dunked over somebody in the NCAA tournament. So there's like the star power. Anthony Edwards could become that. He's had his moments in the regular season and in college, but we will see. Our third topic that we're going to go over today on the Fire Sports Pod, because everything here is fire. Don't forget to look at my TikTok, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube that we're doing right now at Fire Sports Pod. It is fire, because what we do here is all fire. Now, for our third thing is also, how long do you think Steph Curry and LeBron have left? Like, we just covered what LeBron has. I think about like 3, maybe tops. Max, I'm pushing him 4. I think tops is like 3. Playing it safe is 2, but I think tops is like 3, but like pushing it a little bit 4. Steph's 35, LeBron's 38, so LeBron probably is going to play till like 41. I think Steph is going to play till like 41, so he's got probably like another 5-6 years. Only reason why Steph might last even longer than that, maybe till like 45, 42, 43, 44 maybe even, is because he doesn't need to drive to the basket to score. He don't need to be dominant. He don't need to be big, strong, fat. He can shoot the ball. He's the best shooter of all time, the best shooter on the planet who ever been created, best shooter God has ever created. So he's always going to be able to score, and I think that's good for his game, because he can stay in the league longer and don't have to deal with all that pain and all that wear and tear on the body, but he could just shoot from anywhere. So it's like nothing for him. Bang, swish, anywhere on the court. So that's the good thing about it. I just think that with that happening, I think Steph is going to play a little bit longer than LeBron, or he'll play the same years but have a little bit more impact in his later last 3 years than LeBron will because of the wear and tear and all that stuff. But Steph and LeBron are in the best shape ever, and they have the best nutritionists. They're millionaires. They know how to take care of their body, and they will. And that's how you see with LeBron, and that's what you see with Steph. So that's my thoughts on that. I think Curry's gonna play till like 41, and I think LeBron's gonna play till about 41 too. So I think they're both gonna retire in the same age. But LeBron's got 3 more years, and I think Curry's got 6 more years. So Curry can ultimately cement him as the best player of all time if he wins like 4 chips, because he's already got 4. That means he's got 8. So 4 out of 6 years, he won 4 titles. I mean, he's the best player ever. I mean, championship-wise, you got Bill Russell, then you got Steph, then you would have MJ, and then everybody else. But if you don't do that, but that Warriors team, they gotta do something, get a star, reconstruct, and maybe push for Giannis, because they ain't going nowhere. They were lucky to be even in the playoffs and in the divisional round, but the semifinals. But I don't think they're gonna be coming back for a little bit. So they got some things to do. I think push for maybe a star like Giannis or Dame. Not even Dame, because Steph's there. So I'd push for like Giannis, maybe a Bradley Beal. I mean, that's pretty much it. There's not a lot of, maybe like a Paul George, see what his contract is. Maybe a Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi's never there. Can never count on the man. Paul George you can count on, but then he'll get hurt, and then sadly he'll be out for a long time. So you never know with these guys, because of this low management crap that they're doing and this bull nuts. So we'll see what happens. But I just think that Steph is going to play till 41. So he's got about 5 to 6 more years, and LeBron's got like 3 to 4. He'll play to 40, 41. That's my case for that. So the final take on our Fire Sports Pod today. Everything is fire, especially this last segment. Number 4 is a fire segment right here. So this is a record that Ray Allen's, I think, had for like 10 years since he was been playing last played in Boston. Excuse me. So Ray Allen averages, I think, 2.4 threes a game, like made threes a game. Steph has 2.1. That's a record. You would think, like, knowing like Steph shoots all the time or whatever, but his average is like 2.1 threes a game. And Ray Allen's 2.4. So if you look at that, they were asking the thing, it was like, do you think Curry could break that record? I think if anyone could do it, it is Curry. Because I don't think anyone's even really close to that. So I think the only person that could even beat him, or even come close to beating him, which he's already, because he's 0.3 away, is Steph. I think he will beat it, but it's just going to take a lot. He's going to get a lot more shots, stuff like that, I think, over the coming years, because the team's going a little downhill. We got to see what happens with Draymond, see what happens with Clay, see what happens with Jordan Poole. He had a horrible postseason, played absolutely terrible. It was the complete opposite from last year's. He played phenomenal. So we'll see what happens with that. But I really don't think that Steph doesn't have a chance. I think he has a great chance to beat that record, and that just cements him as another part in the legacy of the NBA and how he's the greatest shooter of all time. But then again, we'll see. Maybe someone comes out of college and decides to start shooting like it. Trae Young was supposed to be like it. Dame still like that. But again, they're not as consistent as Steph is. So we really haven't found a player that's as consistent as Steph. Dame is the closest. And I think right after that would be Trae Young, be able to shoot that far and to make it look very easy and very game-like. And Steph Curry's the generation talent. He changed the game of basketball to a traditional big man like Dwight Howard, to three-pointers like Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, even Giannis. I could just name a few. Jokic. Big man just shooting and shooting. Blake Griffin turned into a shooter somewhat. But then there's some bigs that just never turned into that because they could never get their game going, like a DeAndre Jordan, a JaVale McGee, a Dwight Howard. Just name a few guys. But we'll see. But guys, thank you guys for tuning in on Fire Sports Pod. Again, last time, look on Spotify at Fire Sports Pod. Just posted about a half an hour ago. Don't forget to look, comment, share, and like and follow Fire Sports Pod on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and Apple Podcasts. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Fire Sports Pod, because what we do here, everything is fire. Thanks guys for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night. Enjoy the playoffs of the NBA Finals. Enjoy the Stanley Cup. Enjoy Yankee baseball. And stay tuned for next week's YouTube video. Spotify and Apple Podcast videos is coming next week. Stay tuned for that. Look out for the notifications. Keep giving me my positive vibe. Keep helping me out. Keep following me. Keep giving me that support. Well appreciated, guys. Thanks for listening. Peace out.